Hi, Mr. Awadallah. It's Katie in your online anatomy class. I'm going to tell you now the different parts of my skull. And just so you know, here's my list of words that I printed off a blackboard, so I'm not cheating or anything. Okay, I'm going to start with the coronal suture. It's up here in the front of the skull. The squamous suture is back here by the ears. The sagittal suture is on the top of the head. The lambdoid suture runs in the back. The frontal bone is your forehead. The parietal bone is at the top of the skull. The temporal bone is located on the sides. The occipital bone is in the back of the skull, back in here. The ethmoid bone runs, it's in your nasal canal, or back kind of behind your nasal canal. The lacrimal bone is right behind the ethmoid bone, and it's right in here in this part, kind of in between your eyes. The maxilla goes from the top and is the top part of your jaw. The mandible is the bottom half of your jaw. Let's see, the mental foramen are these two little holes that are at the bottom on the mandible, kind of below your teeth. The external acoustic meatus is where your eardrum goes, so it's like back in here in this hole. The mastoid process is this knobby thing. I don't know if you can tell. It's this mastoid process is back here on this knobby thing. The styloid process is below the external acoustic meatus, and it's kind of this sharp piece that hangs off, but it's back in here underneath your mastoid process. The coronoid process is right here on your jaw. The supraorbital foramen is kind of where your eyebrows would go, but it's like just above your eye socket. The nasal bone is right here on your nose. Let's see, your nasal bone, your nasal concha is on the top part in the hole where your nose would go. See, nasal concha. The vomer bone is at the bottom, kind of where that septum is. The foramen magnum, that is on the inside of your skull, and that's where your spinal cord goes up into your brain. The palatine bone, that is on the roof of your mouth, in between your molars, back in there. The cysta Galilei, that is up in here, back behind your nasal cavity. It's behind your frontal sinuses and in between the frontal bone. It's a part of the ethmoid bone. It's in there. So is the the cribriform plate is behind the crista Galilei, and it's again part of the ethmoid bone. It's in between the frontal bone. The sphenoid bone is behind the frontal. It's behind the frontal bone, and it has a greater and a lesser wing. It's kind of it's long, I guess, but it's back there. The optic canal is behind the sphenoid. No, it's in between. It's in between the sphenoid bone, but it's kind of behind it in the middle, sort of. And then your cilia turcica is behind the optical canal, and it's again by or behind the sphenoid bone. And the foramen ovale, it's kind of off to the sides of each parts of the sphenoid bone, the greater and the lesser wings. It's like a little dot, I remember, on the diagrams. But that is the different parts of the skull. I hope you can see it well. So, thanks. Have a great day.